Hey, welcome to the MVS show, presented to you by Artec Ventures. The goal at Artec Ventures is to collaborate closely with founders throughout all investment and fundraising stages, turning their visions into successful companies. Since 2020, Artec Ventures has helped turn great ideas into profitable businesses that make an impact on industries, communities, and beyond. For more information, visit artecventures.com. I'm your host, Todd. We've got Jimmy with us. Most importantly, we've got Marquez Valdez-Scantling with us. Marquez, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Pretty solid after a W yesterday. And making a drive home in the rain was not awesome, but we made it. Safety first, always.
That rain was crazy for sure.
Yeah, I've never been so happy to have a poncho in my pocket.
I felt bad. Like, even usually with you want the opposing quarterback to have a turnover, but I honestly, there's a part of me that felt bad for Jared Goff just throwing it and the ball flying out of his hand.
Yeah, now, I don't really feel bad for that.
Well, I know. Well, yeah, I get that, but now people are gonna give him a hard time later on. And they're like, he's had 5 fumbles. In reality, it was just a
fumble.
Ball.
In reality,
okay, Marquez, every day, man, every single week.
And I mean, can't make excuses for anybody. If I drop a ball in the rain, it's still gonna be a drop. Like, no one's gonna say, "Oh yeah, it was raining on September 20th."
I would do that for you. I would do it. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well,
Marquez, I was telling Jimmy before the show that if the question's not written down on the paper, he shouldn't ask it, because most of his questions in his head aren't good. So I apologize. That one wasn't written down. One we do have written down, as always, I'm going to ask about the dogs first. They were trying fruit the other day. Anything really stand out?
Boy, we had some more fruit today. Ace does not like any fruit at all. Spade pretty much likes everything. So I'm not even sure if that's like him liking fruit or if it's just like he's just a puppy and he just wants to eat everything. So we'll figure out as he gets older. But there's Ace. Ace just showed up in the camera.
Yeah, there he is.
Spade's on the floor next to me.
I gotcha. Is there a certain food that Ace like his favorite food that he likes?
Any type of meat. So bacons, chickens, steaks, anything along those lines. True carnivore.
Okay. Yeah, no, my dog's only a year old, so he's kind of in that puppy stage too, where he will literally anything you drop on the floor, he's going for it.
Yeah, I mean, Spade's literally chewing on anything that he can find. Cotton, socks, anything.
Oh yeah, Marvin, the second he rips apart his toy, is just trying to eat the fluff that's inside it. I don't get it. All right, so you put on Instagram, you get fly to check your mail. Great caption, by the way. And you have your own clothing brand, Six Selection.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been into fashion, or when did that start?
Yeah, I've always been into fashion. Kind of just always wanted to create my own identity. So whether that be, fashion or just, how I operate, it's kind of just, the way I cut my hair when I was a kid, or, the clothes that I used to pick out. I always wanted to make my uniform different when we went to school. Anything I can do to just have some, identity in myself is kind of who I've always been.
That's awesome. I was about to ask you about what haircuts, but I didn't want Todd to yell at me.
Jimmy, that might have been a good one, because that's what I was thinking. Yeah, when you look back, I know myself, I look back at a couple of the haircuts I had when I was younger, kind of questionable. Any that you look back at and you're like, that was an interesting time. That was a great selection by me, maybe.
I mean, I don't regret anything. So,
of course, it's hair. It grows back.
As a kid, I had all kinds of hair. I had braids. I had a mohawk. I mean, even in high school, I had a mohawk. I had a bowl cut as like a 5-year-old, by choice. I just wanted it. Like, my dad was cutting my hair one day, and I just told him to stop. I said I liked it like this, and told him to leave it. So, I've been that way since I was a little kid, as far as I can remember. So, I don't know. It's just something that I've always been. It's who I've always been.
That's awesome. Did you ever mess with any dyes? Change the color up a little bit?
I never really did the whole changing colors. Never. Like I said, I had really long hair as a kid growing up, so I just did like different designs and stuff with that. But
okay, so having your own clothing brand, obviously some other teammates too. Billy Turner's one that stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any like collabs coming up in the future? Maybe have you ever thought about teaming up with someone to put like a limited selection out there?
Actually, yeah. Because the only reason why it would have to uh, hold off is because I'm not the only person that runs the clothing line. It's me and three of my closest friends. So we're all in business together. So it has to be like a joint effort where it makes sense for our party. Because we know what we can bring to the table for brand wise and what we do. So for us to reach out to another company, it has to make sense. So that's kind of, we've had a few companies reach out and say, hey, we want to work with y'all, or have a design with y'all shirt company or whatever. But like I said, it has to make sense for for us as well.
Yeah, I saw that sick chain that you had on,
hmm
and I'm pronouncing it correct, right? It
Yep.
is sick. Okay.
Yep. Successful, innovative kings.
Oh,
All, all four of us have one.
that's sweet. Sorry, Todd. Limited selection. You can't copy that one.
Yeah. Well, what do I have to do to be an investor and get one of those? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, no, you can't get one of those. You can try to replicate it, but it won't be. Those are one of one pieces.
If he tries to replicate it, I'll let you know. You send that cease and desist right to him. Don't mess around with that.
It'll be cardboard and a Sharpie over here. I got a budget. Do you plan like your game day fits ahead of time? Obviously, I mean, every picture we get of you, whether you're traveling or whatever, fashion's there. Do you plan those ahead of time, or are you like the rest of us and just see what's clean in the closet?
Nah, I mean, I don't really plan them ahead of time. I might buy something, like, hey, this might be a game day fit for the future, but it's kind of like, day of, maybe the night before, so I'm like, man, go in the closet, see what I want to wear tomorrow, depending on the weather and whatnot, where we're going. If I'm playing down in Florida, I don't have to dress up super, super warm, opposed to, playing here and it might be 20 degrees outside. So, all those things go into account, but, I don't really go too deep into it and, have, 16, 17 weeks planned out, ahead of time, laid out in my floor in my bedroom.
Just one closet designated, just little dividers. I'd respect it though. All right. So when you, as a kid, so you mentioned before when you were an NBA fan, like there weren't teams that you liked. It was just players. Were you the same way for the NBA or NFL? Excuse me, same way for the NFL?
No. So for the NFL, I was a Tampa Bay Bucks fan growing up.
Okay.
I always been a Bucks fan, even when they sucked. So even when they played us, it was tough for us to lose to them. But then to go and watch them win the Super Bowl, was so happy because that's the hometown team. But I'm always rooting for them unless they're playing us. But other than that, it was kind of, I had players around the league that I liked, but I was always been a Bucks fan. Going to games, and then Tampa Bay Rays fan. I went to middle school right across the street from that baseball stadium, and then just being able to grow up in St. Pete and baseball being my first sport. Those were the two teams that I just always rooted for growing up.
Okay. Todd, go ahead with baseball. I know you're a baseball fan. That's where I'll check out. I'm horrible.
No, it's good. I mean, the Rays have been solid for a while, so it's not anything. I saw that hat this weekend. It's a sick hat. I'll give you that much.
Yeah, I was actually better at baseball than I was at football.
Really? What position?
Center field and shortstop.
Makes sense. Speed like yours, yeah. Center fielder. That makes sense.
When'd you make the switch? Sorry, Todd. Question.
Well, I've played baseball was my first sport, so I played that since I was like 4, and then I started playing football at like 7 or 8, and I would just play both. But with baseball, it's just really expensive to travel and stuff, and you just couldn't afford it to travel every week to play in these baseball tournaments, and it's harder to get recruited. Playing baseball because you got to do the travel ball to kind of get recruited. They don't really recruit high school kids; they recruit travel ball kids. So it was just harder to get recruited that way, and I just kind of started taking football more serious, and kind of hung up baseball like maybe 9th or 10th grade, and just went all in on football.
Nice. When you made that switch over and decided that you were going to focus on football, were there any specific players that you really like watched a lot of or looked up to in order to kind of get your direction and how you wanted to approach things?
Not really. Like I didn't really study a lot of guys growing up. Larry Fitzgerald has always been my favorite player growing up. That's why I wore number 11 in high school and in college. I would have wore it here, but when I got here, it was taken. And then by the time it was open, I had already been, 3 years in '83. So hence the MVS 11 on everything. 11's, like I said, Fitzgerald has always been my favorite player. Just the epitome of, a wide receiver. Everything that you want in a guy, he does it. So I think that was just kind of the guy I looked up to the most. And obviously, Randy Moss, and I got to train with him a couple off seasons in my short career so far. So, that's good. Have a connection with the legend like that. So, those are the two guys that I've always looked up to.
Yeah, please. And I doubt you're going to, but please never change your number, because I finally invested in it this weekend. And
Oh yeah, no, it won't change unless I change teams.
all right.
So
Well, don't do that either. Don't even put that in the universe, MVS.
Hey man, you never know. Obviously I want to be here as long as I can, but obviously at some point, I won't be a Packer. So, maybe I retire a Packer, or who knows. But
could you just promise to not go to the Bears?
Hey man, I'm gonna promise to do what's best for me.
Okay, that's fair. We got Kenny Clark to do that, so it makes sense why you didn't.
Yep.
Yeah,
Kenny walked right into that.
Simple-minded guy, big head, little brain. Not much you can do.
Also, make sure you get your cut from the pro shop, because they sold at least 2 of your jerseys this weekend. Jimmy and I were in there.
Yeah, I'll send him an email.
Yep. So make sure you get that.
I'll make a call, see what I can get done.
Perfect. Did you ever play both ways in football? Did you play defense at all when you were in high school, or?
No, actually, believe it or not, a lot of guys around, the league played both sides of the ball, but I had a really, really good high school team, which is crazy that we didn't win states, but I had 6 guys drafted from my team. So just it being that we had 3 guys on offense, 3 guys on defense, they got drafted, not just go to college, but got drafted. So we had 2 first rounders, the Griffin twins. They went to my high school as well. They were in my class. And then this guy named Rodney Adams, who plays for the Bears, who plays receiver. So we had 2 drafted receivers, a first round offensive lineman who plays for the Patriots now. He got drafted in the first round like 2 years ago. And then Dante Fowler, he was at my high school, and then the Griffin twins. So yeah, we all got drafted from my school.
That's insane.
So it wasn't really necessary for me to go and play cornerback, because we had some guys on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, they didn't need you, huh?
Nah.
My team didn't want me on defense either, but it's not because they didn't need me. They just did not want me. So you mentioned Larry Fitzgerald being like a player you always loved. Have you ever been able to do like that jersey swap after a game with him?
Nah, I've only played him one time, and it was my rookie year, and it was we lost that game. Our coach got fired right after it, so it was just not a good time to go and say, "Hey, you're my idol." Like,
yeah, that would have been awkward.
Yeah. So,
how was that transition for you going? Like, as you mentioned, with college, you went through so many coaches and offensive coordinators. How was doing that mid-season like that in the NFL?
I mean, we had our same staff. He let the head coach go, but our offensive coordinator kind of took over the reins, so it didn't really change much. The offense stayed the same, so we didn't really do anything different in that regard. It was just obviously seeing your head coach get fired your first year in the league. It's not really ideal for what the NFL is like. So
that's fair. All right, Todd, I know you have a book update, because you were, as you said, I'm a simpleton, so I'll let you take over the book talk.
Yeah. Did you pick a new book, and have you started?
I have not started.
Okay.
I'm actually going to start on our long plane ride over to San Francisco. So that'll be my time to kind of read. I usually do my reading on off days, which is today, but I had a lot of stuff to do. So I was pretty much gone majority of the day. So I didn't really have time to sit down and start the reading.
Have you picked one out though?
No, I haven't picked one out yet.
Okay.
So that's going to be my next thing.
All right. When you take those long plane rides, are you the dog owner that tries to FaceTime with their dogs?
It depends on, where I'm at, how long I'm gone. I'm gone for a day. It's not really, that big of a deal. But, if I'm gone for, a week, and my dogs are at my parents' house or something, like I might call my mom, say, "Yo, how are the dogs? Let me see them, make sure they're still alive and
Yeah.
whatnot."
Proof of life FaceTime.
Yeah. Dude, my dog is probably super pumped when he's not with me. He loves my sister. So like, because they have another dog too. So when we drop him off there, he does not want to come home because he just plays with that dog all day.
It's lit.
Yeah, and apparently a 3-year-old trying to like chokehold you all the time is not like very fun for him. All right, go ahead.
Let's jump into some football stuff here a little bit more. With a Monday night game last week, you guys played the 3:30 the week before. Do you have a preference on what game time you guys have? Does your routine differ any on those, or kind of where are you at with game times?
I would rather play 12 o'clock games every week because it just sucks sitting around not doing anything, especially on away games. Especially away games on a Monday night, because then you're just sitting in the hotel all day. There's no football on. There's literally nothing to do. Just trapped in a hotel, flipping through the basic cable in the hotel, trying to find a show to watch. So you end up watching like Price is Right or something for 3 hours, or watching highlights from the game on Sports Centers. So it's just Monday night games on the road definitely suck.
Did you ever bring your your gaming system with you?
I have before, especially like when we went to Cali and we were out there for like 2 days. That's the most of the times when a lot of guys bring their systems, but hotel Wi-Fi just sucks, so it's kind of just pointless. And then you're just in the same boat of not being able to play. So now you're just sitting there watching Netflix or playing video games on your phone.
I gotcha. So this week you had, excuse me, it was the first time all the fans were there in Lambeau for over a year. So how was that? What was the environment like being in front of fans again?
It was great. They had that place rocking, man. It's obviously fun to play back in front of your fans when you haven't had that experience in a long time. Even when we had the playoff game last year, we had limited quantity of fans. They were still loud, but just everything about it was great. From the opening kickoff to the flyover to pretty much anything that had the fans involved, the third downs, the Aaron having to tell the fans to quiet down. You just miss those things, those little things that you just take for granted when you're playing in an empty stadium.
Is there ever a part of you like be able to do a Lambeau leap in a crowd of people is like a dream for every Packer fan? But is there ever a part of you that's like, damn, I'm about to get beer spilled on me, or like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a love-hate relationship when it comes to that, because it's once in a lifetime experience that a lot of people don't get to experience, and then you get down and you're sticky and got ketchup on your gloves or whatever, so it's just one of those things. You got to take the good with the bad when it comes to that.
I feel like late last night would have been a good time for that, because you wouldn't be able to tell if it was beer or whatever.
And it just seemed like it only rained when we're on offense. Like the second half, we were just getting poured on when we were on offense. Then as soon as they got on offense, the rain just stopped. It's terrible.
Yeah. I know what it's like as an absolute just wonderful physical specimen.
Shut up.
But can you tell the people what's it like to just be able to run past somebody?
Just have no hope.
Just how it would feel like if you're playing basketball against a toddler. Like that's kind of the comparison. That would be the comparison that I would, like, man, they can't catch me, and it's amazing.
Next time I play with Hadley, I'm just gonna stop and think, this is what MVS feels like.
Yeah, just run right past it and see what it feels like.
All right, I might stiff arm her too, so I really get the feeling.
Yeah, man, it's great.
That's awesome. All right, we're gonna jump into some fan questions here. Producer Kyle, what do you got for us? First one up here from Duke Backus. If you could compare your two dogs to any members of the Packers, who would they be and why?
Well, Ace is literally a dog version of myself. Like, I can't make it up. He's literally me. And Spade, I don't know. I haven't figured out his personality yet. He's still learning himself. He's only, 2.5 months old. So he's still trying to figure it out. Some days he's real chill. Some days he's off the wall. So gotta give him some time to come into himself.
All right.
It's fair.
All right, Kyle, you got another one? All right. Aside from Lambeau, what's your favorite stadium to play in?
Raymond James. Yeah. Obviously, like I said, that's the hometown team. I went to USF, so I played all my college football games there as well. I actually have it tattooed on my back. So
That's awesome.
like, so it's just that's home for me. So that would be my second favorite stadium to play in is definitely Raymond James.
So were you a big Warren Sapp fan when you were younger?
Um, Not really a big Warren Sapp fan. I mean, obviously he was, one of their better players on their defense, but Joey Galloway, Derek Brooks, Cadillac, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, like those were the guys that I was just like, these are the guys. I mean, like I said, it's D line, so that's not really appealing to me. Like it's a question for Kenny Clark or something, but like I don't really care about D line play. It's not really appealing. They don't really score touchdowns or make plays or whatever. So it's just sack the quarterback or make a tackle for 2 yards and everybody's all excited.
Yeah, you mentioned the flyover earlier. Is there a better stadium than Lambeau for a flyover? Just the way that the jet, like as it leaves the stadium, fills the whole thing and you can feel it in your chest.
Nah, man, like that one was probably the best one I've ever experienced. Like I said, when I was at USF, we used to have 3 jets fly over, but they never felt like the one last night. Like last night, it literally felt like the plane was like flying right on top of us. That was one of those. I think everyone felt that. I think there was a video of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae like talking about it like right as it flies over. Like you see like Devontae's face gets all happy and stuff about it because it was just like crazy experience.
That's amazing. All right, Marquez, we appreciate you taking time with us. Producer Kyle, if you can put up his clothing brand, him and his friend, if you can put that up one more time for anyone watching, they know where they can check that out. SixSelection.com. Support MVS and his friends. And I was looking at some of that stuff. I'm gonna have to buy those shorts with the crown. It's a crown, right?
Yeah, crowns on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get those. I might look like an idiot, but
nah, man, you can pull it off, man.
All right,
you can pull it off.
I'll rock them for you next game day.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marquez.
Oh man,
awesome.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Probably mostly because of me and my questions that came off right up the top of my head, but
that's absolutely what did it, Jimmy. Thank you for that.
I hate you. Now that he's gone, I can be mean to you again.
Jumping into the stat lines, I won week 1 because I'm a genius.
Yep.
Week 2, none of us won because my genius was off apparently, and you and Jacob are who you are by nature. So nothing there. What do you got this week?
Yeah. This one's tough. I think he's due for a breakout game. He really is.
Yeah.
Last week against the Lions, he almost had that touchdown. Rodgers had that pressure, so the pass was just a little behind him. I'm gonna go. I think he gets a long one this time. I'm gonna go 3 catches, 73 yards and a touchdown.
3 catches, 73 and a touchdown. That's pretty much right where I've been living the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate you coming into my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Since you're there, I'm going to move out. They were so close on a couple of those deep passes. It was just, right there. I'm going to really go for the breakout game. I'm going to go 4 catches for 138 and a touchdown this week. I think he's going to rack up some yards. The offense is going to get going out there. They typically don't play well in California. But I think they're going to turn that around and really go after the Niners next Sunday night.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm with him. Another night game. Like, no, play at noon. Because there's how many extra steps I take just trying to wait for the game to start. It's terrible.
Dude, and it's you're just sitting there waiting, and you're going to bed so late. I got to wake up the next morning and teach kids. I don't want to listen to them while I'm tired or when I'm not tired.
Jacob's jumping in here for 125 and a touchdown.
All right, sweet. All right, Toddeth.
Yeah,
great show. Where can the people find you?
I don't think they need help finding either one of us, Jimmy, at this point. You can follow me at the Todd V, and we'll let you know where we are. We do have. Make sure you follow at Game On at Game On WI for everything we've got there, as well as stay tuned later tonight. We've got Open Book coming at you.
Nope.
They're not?
Well, some technical issue. I don't know, some crap. They can't do it. Two
Let
of them
us know
can't
in the
make
comment
it. No one wants to just look at Zach, so they can't do it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So follow Game On WI on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way, anytime MVS graces us with his presence, you'll get that notification. Don't miss that. It'll be huge. Let's get those numbers up, and then we can start moving and grooving in the. Oh yeah, and we have Lombardi's Bar tomorrow. Jacob, remind me. So catch us Lombardi's Bar tomorrow at 7:30 Central.
And we have a guest bartender tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're
Our boy
finally
Ebo-
firing Dan.
Our boy Ebo will be joining us. So it's a trial basis. You know, Dan is out of town, so we're going to try and replace him as quickly as we can.
Naturally.
But definitely give us a check out there tomorrow at 7:30.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in.